Hi, my name is Gustavo Carvalho. I'm a senior WEM success specialist here at Zendesk. And today we'll be talking about the initial setup and defining agent work. To provide you with more details about our agenda today, we'll be covering the account settings. We'll be demonstrating how the agent experience happens in Zendesk. We'll also talk about the Teams feature and how it is fundamental to set up your product. We'll go through roles and permissions, user management, Workstreams, which will help you translate the work your agents perform on the Zendesk support side to WFM. And finally, general tasks, which will cover any type of work that doesn't happen in Zendesk. And by that, I mean tickets. Without further ado, let's dive into our product. Before we get started, let me make myself invisible here to give us more space and attention to what matters, which is Zendesk. Um, cool. Let's talk about agent experience. So let's say I'm an agent. I'm part of one of your teams, and I will demonstrate how my day goes through here with WFM. I'll keep the WFM app open here just for the sake of this demo. Agents do not need to have it open except when they need to tell the system what they are doing outside of Zendesk, and I'll make sure to let you know when that happens. So there are some ways to start the day on WFM. The very first one that I'll demonstrate here is manual. You can manually start your day by hitting the start day. And there you go. You can see that when I start my day, I fall into this untracked status, which means that I am not taking ticket work and I'm not telling the tool what I'm doing. Because if I were taking ticket work, this would be tracked automatically or automagically, like as we like to say. And then if I leave the ticket, you see that I fall under the untracked status again. Now, how do I remove myself from the untracked status if I am not taking ticket work? I can do that by telling the tool what I'm doing. And this is one of the times that I would reach out to the app here. So I click here on the drop-down menu where my tasks are available. I can scroll and I can find a task here, or I can simply type the task I'm looking for, hit enter, et voila. I am clocked into the meeting task. And I will continue clocked into the meeting task until I hop on a ticket, as I will demonstrate here. So ticket work always prevails over general tasks. So whenever you are clocked into a general task and you access a ticket, as you saw, it will be removed from that general task and the ticket work will be tracked. Let me put myself again. Now, as you can see, I left the ticket. I'm untracked again. I will end my day here very quickly to present you with another way of starting the day. And this is another manual way to start the day, which is simply selecting a general task from here. So I'll clock into training. And there you go. You see that my day started, the time started running, and the time is being tracked against the training activity. This way, you will get rid of that small amount of untracked time, if that's the case. I will end my day again, and this time I will show you the automagic way of starting the day, which is by simply hopping on a ticket. There you go. So, because WFM tracks time automatically, Whenever you hop on a ticket, and if this is the very first activity of your day, you just clocked into your day. Let me leave the ticket here. Actually, let me present you with another very interesting part of the agent experience. Let's say that an agent, let's say that I'm working here and then my manager pings me and says, "Hey, Gustavo, I would love to discuss some tickets with you." So coaching opportunity, I love that. I know that if I leave the ticket, I'll be untracked. And I know that if I remain in the ticket or if I switch from one ticket to the other, WFM will automatically track that ticket or any ticket that is active here on my Zendesk workspace. And I also know that my manager will ask me to access some tickets, and I don't want time tracked against those tickets because I'm not working on a ticket, right? I am working, I'm actually having a meeting with my manager. So I want my time to be tracked against the meeting activity. But we also know that ticket work prevails over general tasks. So if I access any ticket that she asks me to, I will be removed from that general task. And I don't want that. So to avoid that, we're going to lock ourselves into this activity by making use of the task lock. So when I'm locked into any type of activity, and by the way, you can lock yourself into a ticket if that's the case, I can go ahead and I can hop on any ticket that I want without being removed out of that specific ticket. As you can see, I'm going to toggle between some tickets. There you go. And then the only way to break this lock, if I don't have an automation to do so, is by unlocking myself from that activity. And then, as you can see, the tool reverts to its default behavior, which is tracking ticket work automatically. Next, let's talk about another component here from the agent experience, which is the schedule, which you can find here on your left side of the agent workspace. So when I access my schedule page, I can have access to my schedule, as you can see. I can toggle between weeks by using either the arrow or the calendar. I can have access to the shift, the unassigned shifts tool. Also, I can have access to the shift trade functionality where I can view the shift pool. I can check if there are shifts available that I can trade, or I can send a trade request from this page. I can also request time off. Time off. To request time off, you simply have to select a time off reason. These are all customizable, by the way. You will let the tool know if you want a partial or a full day time off. And then, depending on what you choose, you're going to select the day, the start time, and the end time in case you're asking for a partial time off. Or if it is a full day, you're going to select the very first day and the last day of the time off. So you can ask for a consecutive time off. You can send a message to your manager, but you don't need to. It's not mandatory. Once you're done here, just request the time off. Let me request time off here so you see how it looks. And there you go. So you see that this is pending approval. You can always see here on the right, the left side of the page, that my pending request is here. And once my manager approves it, the status will change from pending to an approved time off. I can also cancel that time off request if, hey, I'm feeling better, so I don't need that anymore. Next, let's talk about the account settings. To do that, let's access the workforce management product by clicking here, workforce management. And then we're going to click here on the gear icon, account settings. And from the account settings page, there are some things that you can do. You can edit the company name, the name of the main admin here in the account, as well as the email. You can set up the default time zone for your account. This is important whenever you, for example, want to change the time zone that you're viewing data, either from here, the WFM product, or here, for example, on the schedule page you have this time zone picker icon here. So you can select the time zone that you want to perceive data. And then you can hit the use default account time zone. So it is going to use the time zone that you set here. You can also define the week start date. It can be either Monday or Sunday. And then moving forward, you can either turn on or off the auto tracking tool, which means that if you turn it off and then you hop on a ticket, WFM will not track that ticket time automatically. You can also turn off the task lock, meaning that if you turn off the task lock, this button here is going to disappear from the time tracker. Have in mind that whenever you toggle this on or off, this is going to impact the whole account. You can also hide the timer, which is this clock here that will show the amount of time performed by the agents in each of the activities, regardless if it is ticket work or general tasks. And you can also hide the general tasks menu from here. Have in mind that if you turn off the timer, it doesn't mean that you're turning off the auto tracking. You're simply hiding it. Next, let's talk about access control. So let's say that you have 100 agents in your account, but you don't want to have all those agents having their time tracked or even accessing WFM here on the managerial side of things. You can use either the allow list or the block list to do so. It's two different approaches for the same outcome, preventing that people you don't want to have access to the tool to do that. So if you use the block list, you're going to simply add the emails you want to block from accessing WFM. Whereas if you want to allow a specific subset of your agents to have access to it, simply copy and paste your email list here. It's either or. You cannot use both approaches at the same time. Next, we'll be talking about Teams, which is a very fundamental component of WFM. So to reach out to Teams, we're gonna hit Organization Structure and then Teams. Now, what Teams do is first, it will give you an extra layer of context whenever you are viewing grouping agents in your account. By that, I mean, for example, let's hop here on the agent activity page. So I have here my 364 agents grouped by the Zendesk group, by their Zendesk default group, by the way. The tool is not going to display all the groups the agents are part of, but only their default group. I can switch this perspective by selecting the teams. And there you go. The teams that we viewed in the teams feature, the team setup page, are the teams that are going to be displayed here. Teams, whenever agents are part of multiple WFM teams, they are going to be displayed as such. Um, actually, I tried an example here. Let's see. There you go. Beatriz, she's part of these three teams. So she's going to be sorry, it's the wrong Beatriz, but as you can see here, I have Beatriz Crespo. She's part of these two teams, so she's going to be displayed as such. Let's go back to the Teams page. This time I'm going to use a different way to get to the page. If you're using a Mac, Command K. If you're using Windows, Control K. This is going to give you access to these hotkey menu where you simply type the name of the feature or part of the name, hit enter, and there you go. You go straight to the page that you want. Now let's dive here into one of these teams. Actually, let's add a new team. So whenever you add a new team, you have to actually give it a name, a description, and you're going to set a user from the account to be the team manager. This means that whoever you set as the manager is going to be the person who is going to receive email notifications anytime a person, an agent who is part of their team, asks for time off, or they also receive notifications from automations that are set to send the manager a message. Next, let's add some agents. So there you go. You can leverage the grouping system here. Right now I have a long list of agents displayed. I can organize them by group. So you can go ahead and add a full group at the same time, or you can simply add agents as you wish. Once you're done, hit the apply. I'm not going to do that. And then you are going to add your team. And then this is what a populated team would look like. There you go. Have in mind that Teams is a very important component, not only to group data in different features such as agent activity, agent status, schedule, and so on and so forth, but it will also be fundamental whenever you're setting roles and permissions. We're going to be talking about that in a second. But first, let's talk about the user management page. From the user management page, you will have access to all the agents in your account. You will be able to export this list in a CSV if you want. You're gonna get an email with with a link that to download the file. You can also resync your team member list. WFM automatically syncs the agents that are in your Zendesk support account to WFM every 12 hours. Let's say that you between this time frame you onboard new agents and you want to speed up the sync, simply hit the resync team member list and then your list will be updated. From here, you can filter the agents using any of those filtering systems like the row, for example, or the default group, and so on and so forth. You will be able to see the user's role in WFM, their Zendesk default group, the teams they are part of, the work streams they are assigned to, the location and the shift they are assigned to, as well as their status, if they are either active or inactive. From here, if you click the agent's name, you can also turn off or on the auto tracking and the task lock, this time at the user level, differently from the account settings that you do that at the account level. Next, we'll be talking about roles and permissions that you can find here in the engine icon, roles and permissions. And then we can see that we have two default group roles, admin and agent. And we have a custom role here. We're going to be talking about the custom role in a second. First, let me present you with the difference between the admin and the agent role. Before that, actually, I wanted to emphasize that anytime you install WFM in your account, every admin, every Zendesk core admin will automatically become a WFM admin. Any other type of role will automatically become an agent here. You can always promote or downgrade the users from here. If you want to do that, simply click at the row you want to take the user to. For example, I want to promote someone to admin, so I'll have admin selected. I'll click here on the Agents tab, and then I'll look for, there you go, Anna here. She is an agent. You can see on the opposite side of the screen, her role, her current role. If you hover your mouse over, you have this reassign button. Simply click, save, and there you go. You're going to have this updated accordingly. From this page, we can also see that admin users, they have permissions to see each and every page of the product, as you can see. Let's compare it to the agent row, for example. The agent row has the only page that they can see is the agent schedule and the team schedule. This is the agent schedule and the team schedule. Now, let's say that you want to customize this. Let's say you have a BPO that you want to give admin access, not admin access, but access to each and every page of the product. So you would turn off, you would toggle all these options here on. But you don't want them to be able to see all the agents within the account, but specifically the subset of agents that are part of their teams, that the agents they manage. That's when scopes come into play. So let's click here, scopes. So as you can see, the BPO with scoped access has access to exclusively to the AgeLX team, meaning that whenever they hop on pages like the agent activity or agent status or schedule and so on and so forth, they will be able to see exclusively the agents that are part of this team. Let's compare this to the admin row, for example. As you can see, admins, they have access to all teams, meaning all data. And the agent role, by default, they have access to their teams, meaning that if they are part of one team, they will see only the agents in that team. If they are part of multiple teams, they're going to be able to see those multiple teams. Locations and work streams. Let's compare it here to the BPO. So if you set this team as the scope for this BPO, they will be able to see, although they are going to be able to see all locations, they won't be able to see all the agents within the location, but exclusively the agents from this team. The same happens with work streams. They will be able, if you set as all, they will be able to see work streams, all the work streams. So if an agent hops on a ticket that is not part of their workflow, whoever is assigned to this role will be able to perceive that. Moving forward, let's talk about one of the most important features of the WFM tool, which is the work streams. The work streams is the way, as I mentioned before, you're going to translate what your agents perform on the Zendesk support side to WFM language. By default, out of the box, you're going to get three work streams: chat, ticket, and voice. If you're satisfied with this approach, there isn't much you need to do here in terms of configuration. But you can always dive deeper into it. You can always granulate that work. There are some examples here. And by the way, for this demo, let's ignore any work streams that have that has these overlapping circles. Let's focus exclusively on the single dotted work streams. So some examples here, you have the billing work stream. So this is like an area or a scale-based work stream. We have tier one, tier two, and tier three, which is a complexity-based work stream. And you have messaging and voice, which are channel-based work streams. Um, just so you know the impact of setting up work streams, as I told you, this is going to be the way you're going to perceive the work that agents perform. There you go. This is a real-time monitoring feature. So we have agents working on one agent working on voice, some agents working on messaging, another one working in tier three. There is one actually that is working on a ticket that wasn't captured by a work stream, which reminds me of the three golden rules for setting up work streams. The first one, keep things simple. The second one, make sure you capture all the volume from your account, meaning that if you do that, you won't be seeing tickets here presenting the no work streams label. And finally, the last golden rule is make sure that you do not overlap tickets into different work streams. And this is to avoid a ticket activity. Let's say, for example, these almost 2 hours that Karam has been working on this ticket. If we have the multiple workstream issue, it means that these almost 2 hours are going to be accounted towards both the messaging and the other overlapping workstream. And this is going to basically have a negative impact in your reporting system. This is also going to have a negative impact in your forecast, for example, because this basically means that your volume is being accounted towards two or more work streams. And how do we set up work streams? How do we make sure to capture all tickets? How do we make sure not to overlap those tickets into different work streams? We'll be making use of conditions. So let's select here the voice one to start simple. So if you have a channel-based approach workstream, all you have to do is to make sure that the contact via here corresponds to your workstream type, your workstream channel. We have three types of all ticket via types. So ticket, offline ticket, chat, and voice. And you can also handpick the via types if that's the case. Let me show you another example here, the messaging one, because this is important because the native messaging via type, it is not under the chat via type, but actually under the native messaging via type. So if you're using native messaging, have that in mind to select the native messaging via type and make sure to remove the native messaging via type from any other offline ticket workstream. For example, the billing one, you can see that I have almost all via types except the native messaging one. This is important because if you have a channel-based work stream only, this is going to avoid the overlapping, the multiple work stream issues. We have also conditions that you can add. You can add multiple conditions, by the way, and you can rely on these four data points: groups, tags, brands, or forms. In the end, make sure that regardless of your approach, make sure that each workstream has a unique set of conditions. And then last but not least, let's talk about the work that happens outside of Zendesk. And I'm talking about general tasks. So there are some types of some examples for general tasks here. You have back office, backlog, break, lunch, meeting. So as you can see, we have both productive and unproductive tasks. We'll be talking about that in a second. But first, make sure to give a name and a description to your work stream. Second, make sure that you set your team permissions properly. This means that any team that you have added here will be able to see and interact with the general tasks from this menu here. Um, when it comes to the colors, avoid either black or red because black means either multiple or no workstream issues when you're looking at the agent activity. And the red means untracked. By the way, the same rule for color coding here for general tasks, apply it also to workstreams. Um, Next, whenever you were setting up a work stream, you will be able to tell if whenever you're setting up a general task, you will be able to tell if that task is either paid or unpaid. So if I tell that a task is unpaid, then it automatically becomes unproductive time. If I turn on the paid time, I still have the option to tell if this is a productive or an unproductive type of work. Back office, for example, is productive, but a break or lunch, break is unproductive, but it's still paid. Lunch is not even paid. And taking advantage of the lunch task here, the next feature that I wanted to show you is the talk status mapping. So you can map talk statuses to your general tasks in a way that once the agent clocks into that specific general tasks, like lunch, for example, they will automatically be set as offline on the Zendesk talk. Um, Here, as you can see, back office sets the agent as away. And then lastly, you can also customize the work streams that are mapped to that specific general task, meaning that whenever an agent is scheduled to tackle back office work, because I have messaging and voice mapped to this work stream, sorry, because I have messaging and voice mapped to that general task, the agent will be able to handle either messaging or voice tickets without being out of adherence if they are scheduled to back office work. Lunch, for example, has no work streams selected, meaning that if an agent is scheduled for lunch and they take ticket work, they will be out of adherence. So this is what I had to present today. I hope this was useful for you and your teams. It was a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you.